Hey everyone, welcome back to more Star Dynasties. I'm DisturbingPuppet. So we have expanded out a bit, and we have some interesting things going on with our events. So apparently there was an attempt at one point to colonize one of the planets in Arcab, but there really isn't much I can do about it at the moment. I can destroy it, but I think that's about it, honestly. Yeah, I can scrap it. So I think we need some more events to happen for us to be able to kind of pursue this to actually do anything on our cab. I don't think that we need to like have direct control of it. It's through our subsidiaries, the Arellano, so I don't think we need it directly. I don't see any events or anything tied to it, so we can kind of scrap it. If we can scrap it from a distance without us directly controlling it, then it really shouldn't be a problem. What is this? Oh, that's the where the black hole was. There's actually an icon in here. We just have to zoom way in. The non-named systems are just systems that you can't actually build a habitat on or anything. So we do have a couple places we could actually build habitats if we want to. It's going to spend a lot of money. We've got Alcyone down here, which puts a major dent into the Jordan colonies because they're kind of using this for passage back and forth. And if we take control of it, it definitely creates some problems. Even more so is there's a system up here, yeah, Brachium. We could take, it's right in the middle of the Clark clan and kind of cuts off their north-south passage back and forth. But if we build it like it's ours, but I think they would have a really unhappy view of that. So we're probably not going to do that. That's about all we've got. I don't think there's anything crazy I want to do. We are building a couple things just to kind of help build up various different resources and income coming in. We've expanded out quite a bit, but so have, if we zoom out, the Cunningham clan. We've absorbed more and more, and the Lynns keep getting the Jordans and handing them back to them, and then the Jordans going back, and like it's gone back and forth a few times. So I'm hoping at some point maybe they'll join us and we can, put a stop to the expansion of this particular league over here. Just out of curiosity, if I was, yeah, there's no way. I could potentially ask for the Jordan colonies, but I don't think that would go over very well either. Um, just out of curiosity. He might accept if we asked. He probably would want a bunch of money, and I probably don't have enough money for it to matter. Um, so that's a whole other separate issue we could potentially look into at some point. We do have a claim on Desheba because of an event that happened, but honestly, like they've got a rattling outbreak, and these guys are super unhappy, and there's been multiple rebellions, and I don't know that you're as good as I would hope, but you are sort of in a decent spot. I would like to pick up the Lindsays at some point, especially if they would potentially go over to the Clarksons instead. I would like the Lindsays part of our growing sort of mess of smaller factions joining together. I think that would be a better call for us. But over here, again, chances of that happening, absolutely not. So not something we can really rely on or expect to have happen, and we don't really have a good path in to attack if we wanted to, but I wouldn't attack them anyway. I'm trying to be fairly peaceful and expanding. Mainly, we're just trying to make as much money as possible and see what money can do for us. So that's kind of the goal of this family. We're very good administrators. We're good at technology. That's kind of the main focus. So military is not really our thing, although I did just put a bloodline point into military to kind of help out our military a bit. So our stats are a bit higher. We do have my heir who's now in charge of the military. He is not great, but he is getting better every turn. We're training him for various different things, and him being in charge of the military means he will get some military bonuses. My other son, who just came of age, is actually much, much better. And what is he doing? He's somewhere. Don't even remember. Is that him? No. Oh, here we go. Charles. So Charles, super good diplomat, lots of good stats, lots of good traits. Very, very cool. Um, Interesting. We might have to look at who's going to inherit eventually once I do pass on. But at this point, I'm only 45. I've got probably a good decade to go before I have to worry about that. And we can hopefully make our heir better by then, but maybe we'll have to change things around. I don't know if there's anything I really want to do necessarily. I mean, we could ask for the Jordan colonies. that's, I mean, something we could do. I'd kind of like to improve our holdings, especially the ones that we directly hold, like Wazin and especially Missam, which is really beat up. We are doing some repairs on Yildan because there's been raiding and fighting going back and forth, and rebellions, just to kind of help that colony survive. That's about it for right now. I think we're good to hit go. I do have some people who could marry. I'm going to wait on my second son till he's at least 18. I did try to find someone for Marley, but didn't really work out. And then, why are you suddenly in my family? I don't think you're actually in the family. I just have to actually arrange a wedding or marriage for you, which is weird. So you're actually part of House McIntyre in the Arellano clan. Yeah, so I'm not sure why I'm responsible for finding a marriage for you. I guess her husband must have died or something. She's 51. She wasn't here before. You control marriage. Their house is within the territory of our family, who is blood relative, and she's not ancestry. Yeah, odd. I'm assuming she probably lost her husband, is what's going on there. In which case, yeah, I don't really care one way or the other. You're not going to. I can't use you. I can't use anyone you marry, so, whatever. We could look at maybe my other son getting a good marriage. Let's just go ahead and hit it, I think. See what happens. So we repaired the courier landing bay in Yildan. Colton has come back. We got the solar array in Massam rebuilt, so it's just generally a good thing to have. Dallas Clark is in an intimate relationship with Dr. Sidra Blackwell. Okay. Just something we're finding out from our spies up there. I'm not really sure the relationships, but whatever. Your son's learned a new combat tactic, discipline. Well, it's about time. He learned some discipline. We're now considered to be the credibly legitimate owner of Arcturus. That took a very, very long time. We've had Arcturus like for almost ever. I think they were part of the Galway Alliance a long time ago. While on a routine patrol, a squadron of Duke Conan Pineda's ships have mutinied and disappeared. Yeah, all kinds of bad things happening for the Jordan colonies. Archon Masada Lin wants marriage between Charles Scrooge and Dr. Katya Lin. So this is my second son. Is the same family as the Lins. Age is fine. She will come here. She's, I mean, just decent overall across the board. Nothing too crazy. She is fickle. Dull, which just gives her administration, technology, less diplomacy. It's not about intelligence, it's more about kind of your interests. She's not bad. I could ask for the Swansons in exchange, but they won't agree. I could ask for a little bit of money. She's not a bad match, honestly. Gives us a connection to the Lins, who we would want potentially allying with us against this giant swarm over here. I'm willing to just accept this. 10 credits doesn't make any difference to me at all, so yeah, we could do that. The feast is being held to celebrate the marriage between your son and your daughter-in-law. Duke heiress Clea Snyder became outrageously drunk during the festival, embarrassing herself. Duke Barry Farmer has had too much to drink. He's wondering whether your son's outfit looks more like a red giant or some kind of farm animal. Your son is not amused. We'll try to smooth things over. You intervene. Duke Barry Farmer's just drunk and means no harm. So, You are offering me Desheba. Well now. I mean, that's interesting, but there is a rattle-along outbreak and quarantine going on, which isn't great. Desheba has one thing in it, and that's it. Everything else has been destroyed. It could be built up as long as everybody doesn't die. He just doesn't want to deal with rebuilding the territory, basically. I will take it. I'll owe him a debt. That's fine, I think. He's not going to be alive too much longer, I don't think. And I owe him the debt. I don't think I own the Jordans as a whole the debt. Okay. Loom Robinson has demanded that the Lindsays press the Robertsons' claim to rule Iota Horolongia or something somewhere, but I can't even see where it is. So you accepted. Oh, it's got to do with territory way up here. That's interesting, because there isn't even like a Starlane connection. So she's told them, like, you need to do this. That's a really bad idea. He refused. That might cause a war. Archon Ursula Clark has invited you to attend a feast for the marriage between Lady Desmond Blackwell and Duke Avis Blackwell. Sure, we're fine. We're related to the Clarks. It's fine. I will probably act as my own representative. Yeah, sure. We'll participate personally. We're going to fight Nanny Harrell. We're definitely a better fighter. We'll just fight normally. We've defeated her. Admiral Jens Arroyo. Defeated him. Baroness Blackwell, Caprice Blackwell. She is a better fighter than us. Fight normally. We actually defeated her. I think there's some sort of like dice roll involved as well. We'll fight Chuck Farmer. He is a terrible fighter. Defeat him as well. We've won the tournament in honor of the marriage. So we get some extra fame and stuff, which helps us get bloodline points. And also whether people like us or not. So Commissioner Chuck Farmer and Baroness Caprice Blackwell also performed admirably. Duke Barry Farmer gets a little bit because his champion did well. Archon Ursula Clark bangs her staff on the stainless steel table, shaking the hall. On this most happy occasion, I would like to offer a few words. For better or worse, you are now united. It is always better to make that work, no matter what that requires, than to turn your back on each other. Duke Avis Blackwell and Lady Desmond Blackwell turn to each other. There's a flicker of a smile. So the Clarks and the Blackwells getting more closely aligned, which makes sense because they're all sort of in the same faction together. It's not connected because of this gap, but... The feast in honor of the marriage of Lady Desdemona Blackwell and Duke Avis Blackwell was a large success, and the guests depart in fine humor. Duke Tex Snyder wants marriage between Marley and negotiator Kelsey Snyder. So I would lose Marley. Although Marley's not even in my family, is he? Yeah, he's with Mitch in Yilden. 19, mediocre stats. It doesn't really matter too much. She's 55. Yeah, I don't think so. We're going to refuse. It doesn't really matter to me. He would leave to go to somewhere else. Whatever. Your brother-in-law has disinherited Hayden Blackwell. Archon consort Thad Scrooge is now his heir. Wait a minute. So my husband is now the heir if he were to die. That's really weird. because he has his own family and kids. I don't know why he would disinherit his own children, but his dad did a bunch of weird disinheriting too. So I don't know. The Blackwells like to disinherit people, it kind of seems like, and cause problems. Like they've caused a bunch of rebellions all over the place too. They've married into a bunch of stuff and then caused fights all over the place. Archon Ursula Clark wants control of the Tanner Coalition. Why would I do that? The Tanners have quite a few things here. She might go for giving me the Blackwells in exchange, which is interesting. But I feel like since I control the Snyders too, it's just there's no reason for me to accept this, really. She's kind of stuck and can't expand. I think that's probably part of it. So that's why they're kind of making that push. Do you really only have 2 systems? Yeah, they do only have 2 systems, but they're kind of this main core travel corridor for me to get around and get anywhere up this direction. So if I lose them, I'm kind of stuck, and I can only really go down. I don't have any access out up to... I mean, I can get to the Snyders. I don't really have access out that way much. So, yeah, I'm not interested in doing that. You inherited Deshubba. Okay. Must appoint someone to take rule of Deshubba. So whoever was there, the royal family, all died off, I guess. Well... we'd like somebody who's pretty loyal to us. Definitely not Chill, because he's caused all kinds of problems. Some people who are on the council, I don't necessarily know that we want to do that. I don't really have anybody that I'm specifically leaning towards as someone who would be a good choice. The Raymonds, possibly. Though she's mainly busy being a spy for me. There's tons of options. No one really has a clear... just see if there's anything. So Timothy... So this is only good because it's forgiveness for the attempted murder of your father. Okay. Is there anybody else that has anything? Grazia. Forgiveness for unpermitted birth. Eh. There's nobody who has any rightful claim. It would be sort of a scale symbol if there was somebody who actually had like a claim and we would be doing the right thing by justice to do it. So it doesn't really matter too much. I just want to make sure that I don't cause any major problems. Got a cousin, potentially. Colton wouldn't necessarily be a bad option either, although I'd like somebody who's decent military to be in control down there. Like, she's quite good, just generally speaking. I might just give it to her. So she's part of the Arlano clan, House McIntyre, residing in Nair al-Saif. She is related to us. She's got good overall stats to run a system. I'm going to give it to her, I think. So we raised her to the ruler of Desheba. Alright, so Mitch is now demanding that Barry do something to the Pinedas. Not that that's likely to happen. Kenyon Phillips has invited you to attend a feast for the birth of Duke heir Lonnie Phillips. Sure. I'll probably just represent myself again. Yeah. To fight Baron Kamal Carey. Should be okay there. Defeated him. Constable James Long. He is a very good fighter. We fought him before and he beat us in another tournament. We actually defeated him this time, so definitely some dice rolls going on. Kimberly Arellano. Surprised she's taking part. Defeat her as well. Tex Snyder. Also a very good fighter. We defeat him somehow. You've won the tournament in honor of the birth of Duke heir Lonnie Phillips. Tex Snyder and Kimberly Arellano also performed admirably, got some fame. How dare you invite that smug bit of flotsam? Commissioner Britton Hahn has launched into a tirade accusing Duchess Suki Joyce of a host of slights. House Tanner security definitely interposes, but tension lingers throughout the activities. So you... Not even sure what family you're part of. The Joyce sector. Okay. So she's angry. The Joyce sector was actually part of the Tanner coalition a long time ago. Their league that they had running. The feast in honor of the birth of Duke heir Lonnie Phillips was largely a success, and the guests depart in fine humor. So we actually got some fame and stuff too, but this is kind of like they put it on, so it's what's showing them mainly. Your brother-in-law has invited you to attend a feast, just feasting constantly for the birth of Duke heir Cyan Blackwell. Yeah, we'll accept the invite. Fine. I will probably represent myself again. I don't see why not. Although I could have the heir do it. I'm a little better of a fighter. I'll participate. The more fame I can get for myself, kind of the happier we are, and the more bloodline points we could potentially get to. We're going to fight Wilma Kramer. We just fight normally. I've always just fight normally. Unless I'm, like, if you want to kill somebody, that's what you do something differently. Ray Boone, we're pretty evenly matched. We'll fight normally. Defeat him as well. Lucretia Kidd. Fight normally. She defeated us. Dukeberry Farmers won the tournament. Lucretia Kidd and Michiko, our Archon, also performed admirably, so we did get a little bit of fame. Your husband is stuffing his mouth with whatever comes to hand. His mouth is a cascade of beef and pork, luxury synth meats crafted for only the finest banquets and most discerning gourmands. These delicacies are crammed into his maw with the finesse of a garbage compactor. Thad. It's funny because he's like a super good diplomat. And like, what are you doing? My husband is now ill. He ate too much. Feast in honor of Duke heir Cyan Blackwell's our success, and the guests depart in fine humor. Your son has charged you with avenging your brother-in-law's crime, the disinheritance of Duke heir Charles Scrooge. He disinherited a bunch of their kids. Your son expects you to punish your brother-in-law. The charge is not severe enough. So he's now old enough to make claims and things inside the family, and he's like, hey, you disinherited. Like, he didn't disinherit me, his dad disinherited me. I could push it on to the Clarks, who won't do anything about it, probably. Or I can only declare war, that's it. Yeah, we're not going to declare war. Like, we just went to their feast. Yeah. We'll just kind of let that go. We have a visitor. You are probably a diplomat, but that's all right. Camlin. Or, no, you just married into the family. Is that what happened? Distant relative. You're a Swanson. How are you Part of the Lin Collective. Distant relative. I'm not sure how we ended up being a distant relative to another family down there, but okay. Toshiba Central Market has become a bustling economic hub. So we do have, this is kind of, we have that maxed out in our bloodline. An intergalactic marketplace was just built on Toshiba, just like that. You find out that Magar Blackwell injured acting Sir Amory Bell in a bar brawl, so we're finding out some just random blackmail. Archon Conley frittered away House Cunningham's wealth by gambling. Well, that's something else we could maybe do something about. And now we're even bigger. Look at this. Kind of curious. Can I see? So we're at 13 of 15. 23 systems. If I were to look at the Cunninghams, they also have 23 systems. So we're pretty much tied with them. We've only got room for a couple more people to be under us. We could hand off some of the stuff that we directly oversee to other people or consolidate. So like the Galloways we could force into the Arlanos, or the Joy Sector we could force into the Tanners, but they might rebel over it. So the feast there, sure. Mirsam. Explosion rips through the spaceport on Mirsam. Some ships were lost. That's unfortunate. Down here on Desheba. House McCann overthrew House Jordan. But they're the ones who died afterwards. So maybe did the Radalung outbreak kill them? I'm not sure. So Desheba at least now has the intergalactic marketplace as well. So there's something else there. We probably want to do some building down here to get Desheba. So Desheba and Missam we want to build up for sure. Chill gorged himself. Right, he's sick. Lady McIntyre is dead. Your uncle inherited House Raymond of Nair al Saif. Wait a minute. Okay, that's like there was a family here called the Burgers at one point, I think, that were causing problems. It's the very same portrait, but it's not the same family or anything. Yeah, Nair al Saif is not looking good either. I think I've actually built and rebuilt stuff there a couple times. I think got destroyed in raids and things. Gear tab, another Blackwell inherited gear tab. Okay, we're on good relations. I just want to make sure if somebody does inherit that we're still on good relations with the person who took over. That's something we need to keep an eye on. So first things first. Thad, we need to get you some medical attention. We could just have Colton do it for the moment. But if I'm going to build stuff, he's actually not a bad builder. Currently, you are training in administration. Let's just have my sister jump on that. She's our main doctor, researcher, everything all rolled into one. Desheba is also quite weak if we were to be attacked. Hopefully no one is going to do that. Yeah, more scientific experiments going on. Inhabitants have provided proof that the Duke is conducting human experiments. Crazy. Been releasing that information. I'm kind of surprised. Like, we're staying on good relations with him, but he seems like he's kind of a bit of a monster. Yeah, everybody hates his guts. Wonder if he'll offer us Beta Virginis here next, since there's Radalung there too. All right. I did have blackmail now on somebody. Even see who we have we've got blackmail on just too many people. Okay, you're part of the Cunninghams. Okay. So we would like to weaken you guys. What can you offer me? You poisoned someone. If I were to extort you, what can I get out of it? Espionage help. Security detail. Nope, not interested. My brother-in-law, I don't think I can really get anything out of him. We're not going to blackmail him. He likes us, so it's like, what's the point? My husband's sister-in-law. What did you do? Put an experimental love serum in your brother-in-law's food. Yeah, the Blackwells. Okay, she's not actually a Blackwell. She married into the Blackwells, but they seem to like to drug people into loving them. If I were to extort you, could try to get her to train us in secret. 61% chance of working. If it fails, she just doesn't like us, which, like, so it's not that big a deal. Forge a claim on He's. Eh. Let's see if she'll train me. Very well, what do you want to know? 2 of you meet in secret, work on your weakest skills, away from prying eyes of your house, so +4 to security. She doesn't like it, but she's not really in a position of authority. We destroy the evidence we have. Fine. Next up, Dallas Clark. You're part of the Clark clan. I don't know that I want to mess with the Clark clan, really. What did you do? You're in an intimate relationship with a Blackwell. Whatever. So that's the other end of it. Sidra Blackwell, she's also in the Clark clan. Magar Blackwell. Yeah, we'll leave the Clark clan alone for the moment. Archon Conley, who I'm actively working on improving relations with, so what did you do? You wasted a bunch of the money gambling. Yeah, I can just reveal it. That's all I can do. There's no other stuff I can do with that. So yeah, it's fine for now. That's enough messing with blackmail. All right. Katya. Okay, so our new daughter-in-law, we could have her build stuff. Same with Colton. So if we want to do a couple building projects, that would be probably a good call. Again, Nair Al Saif is really trashed. But I think we want to build something in Disheba. It's a little pricey, but the chemical warehouse is decent. If we want something cheap, there's an armory we could build for Miss Sam. There's some decent things we could build up there. Nair Al Saif is pretty wrecked. I don't want to rebuild the other colony down here quite yet. This only affects this system, which is too bad. At least that's what it looks like. Some decent stuff we can build for 60. Why don't you have... Let's do a repair platform over here. Colton can go do that. I'm a little concerned about building something in Disheba, considering there's a rat-along outbreak. So I do want to be careful about who I send, if I do send someone down here to do anything. Yeah, I'm going to hold off on that, I think, actually, with the route along. So let's do something on Miss Sam. Let's rebuild the hydroponics. Send my mom off to do that. Just leaves Katya. She's pretty open to doing anything, it kind of seems like, but building stuff or rebuilding a fleet is probably her best choice. Yilden is not great either. We could build something there. I don't want to spend too much money, though. Yeah, why don't you go do the waste processing plant? Will take her a while. That's fine. Kind of safe and out of the way. And we're just going to leave the Shubba to its own devices for the moment. It did pick up the intergalactic marketplace, which does help a bit. Just its additional stuff. Weddings we could possibly arrange. I don't know that I really want to mess with that at the moment. Nothing particularly of interest in the events there. Some fines going on. Lots of stuff up here. Lowered taxes. Had a child. Snubbed the Clarks. That's interesting. Well, we're sort of expanding oddly incidentally, and now that we've got Deshubba, it makes it a lot easier if we do want to push into Alcyone and rebuild that eventually. That might be worth doing, since it's right across the border from us. We are getting close to our max, but we're fine for the moment. As long as our tech and administration is high, we can kind of handle that pretty well. We are treating you. Yeah, nobody's free. Am I still quelling unrest where it makes sense? Unrest is 55. Unrest is 25. We maybe don't need it on Nair al Saif anymore. Yilden 37. Pollux is getting up there. The stuff that I control is probably fine. Wazen's a little high. It's going up a little bit. So I could stop in Nair al Saif, switch over to Wazen, maybe. There's literally zero unrest some of these places. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So Nair al Saif is fine. Stop that. Go over to Wazen. We'll quell unrest there. Get that shut down a little bit. Okay, that's about it for actions. Do have this giant weird mess. We have just sort of incidentally expanded a bit, so, you know, we're in decent shape. As long as everyone just doesn't die off in Deshubba, we'll be okay. And then we could maybe make our own colony. That would get us to 14. At that point, I might look at, like, consolidating. So, like, the Galloways just having the one system. Is that worth it? The Joy Sector having only one system, is that worth it? They're pretty happily independent. They broke off from the Tanners a while ago, so I don't think they'd be happy about going back, and I don't think the Galloways would be happy being part of the Arlanos either. But they gave away all but this one system to the Arlanos. So they had Nair El Saif, and I think Sheraton. Yeah, I think they had Sheraton at one point too. Wazan also. They had all three of those. So I think we're in an okay spot to just advance time. Any extra action points I use, I just get for money. And Louise Raymond celebrates her coming of age day. As an adult, she can now take part in roles in House Scrooge. So she turned out very mediocre, but, you know, average across the board. No special things. She's tribal, though. Guardianship has ended. The cache of shipping manifests and stamped goods have been unearthed that suggest Arcab may once have been a member of the Jordan colonies. Well, that we can't have, because Arcab is where the terraforming ship is at. So we absolutely do not want to lose control of that. I do not want you giving that to the Jordans. Explosion rips through the airport, or the starport in Marfik. Wow, it destroyed a lot of ships. 20 ships destroyed. That's crazy. Archon Conley failed to avenge Duke Conan Penny's crimes. The Conleys are in charge of the Cunninghams, which is odd because this was the Conley Kingdom at one point, and now it's the Cunningham clan. Barry Farmer wants guardianship of Dane Scrooge. My son. He'll even give me 60 credits for it. That's a very odd thing to ask for, buddy. We are pretty close. So, I mean, like, the families are close. He'll be disappointed if I say no, but his opinion's great. He's not going to do anything crazy as a result. What are your stats anyway, dude? Diplomat, otherwise generally okay. You are brave, forgiving, friendly, but proud. I don't know if I like that. Because if I have control of the wards, then I can do stuff about it. But I'll go ahead and say sure, because I already have 2 heirs potentially lined up. This is a 3rd child who's now old enough to go, you know, be sent somewhere else. So, yeah, we'll just send you off. And now you're saying that I need to do something about Duke Pineda. The war against farmer territory is disinheritance of someone. He'll get upset if we don't. My options are declare war or charge the Conleys to do something about it. I might do that, actually. Yeah, I think we'll just kind of kick it up the chain to the Conleys. It's not even the biggest thing, like he's doing human experiments and stuff. Conley failed to avenge the Lindsay's crime. Okay, so he recovered from his sickness, but he's going to be ill from now on, pretty much. Your brother-in-law is offering allegiance. Do you want to ask for something else? He'll secede from the Clark clans and become part of our sovereignty. Well, I mean, this is something we've been kind of working on for a while. They were quite strong militarily, so I don't think that the Clarks can do much about it. It's sort of bad, because another Archon's losing their territory, but we do have a claim, and you didn't punish his crimes. So Yeah, okay, you didn't punish him for the crimes his dad did, so it's okay for us to take his territory. Okay, whatever. Um, we can even get money out of the deal, too. He'll give us 120 credits. That's crazy. I don't know if I want to do that. That'll just make him upset, I would think. Doesn't seem like it. We can arrange some kind of a marriage, too. Eloise Raymond, my first cousin's daughter. Oh, okay, that's not... I wanted to actually click on the name to get the information. Well, alright, so we arranged a marriage. Size of house, usefulness. So, Clayland, who I don't see an age of. I was kind of trying to look. And Eloise Raymond. First cousin's daughter. Well, alright, well, we arranged the marriage. Your brother-in-law broke allegiance with the Clark clan and pledged the Blackwell alliance to the Scrooge sovereignty. You and your brother-in-law have agreed to bury the hatchet. As part of entering into a feudal relationship, both sides have agreed to wipe the slate clean between them and have publicly forfeited the right to seek revenge for the following crimes. So there were other crimes, but I think as each of my children come of age, they were each disinherited. So I think each one then might have a claim, and then I would have the right to fine him or something. You're no longer responsible for avenging your brother-in-law's crimes against your son. At least one of the feudal kin relationships between your brother-in-law, you, or your son have changed, so you're no longer responsible by society to see justice done between your brother-in-law and your son. And we've got a marriage. Hopefully they're not related to each other too much. Your brother-in-law has changed the order of succession. Duke heiress Rosalind Blackwell is now his heir. Sister-in-law. Yeah, he keeps changing the inheritance up here over and over and over again. It's just causing problems inside his own family. Husband's health is fully recovered. We'll stop the treatment. Failed to avenge the annexation of Cirrus, so that'll tick off the Clarks as well. We might have to shift over to doing some diplomatic efforts on the Clarks. Duchess Fola Jarvis wants Wazin. You gave it to me at one point. It would be evening out because I threatened to get the Galloways in. This is my father did this 30 years ago or something at this point. My father threatened the Galloways to join, and they did. So they're still holding that over us, apparently. Just looking to see if there's any other options. I don't know that I want to give them Wazin. I mean, it would help because I would lose a vassal, so I'd lose Wazin, but you gave me Wazin before, and I've built it up, so I don't know. It's just kind of irritating. Stuff that I directly oversee is a little bit better than things I indirectly oversee. And who's to say, even if I give it to the Galloways, they might just hand it off to the Arlanos. I don't know. Um, she loves me, so even if she's a little bit irritated if I say no, it's not a huge deal. I would rather hold on to it ourselves because I have the vassal limit. If I get close to running out of vassal limit, then I could see okay, yeah, I'll hand off stuff to other people, kind of making sense. But as it is, yeah, I'm not interested. Archon Conley is offering control of the Jordan colonies. Do you want to ask for something? Whoa, okay. All right then. So the Conleys have had enough of the Jordan colonies crap, apparently. We're just expanding like crazy. There's no reason for me not to take the Jordan colonies. I've been kind of looking at this for a while now. I would owe him a debt if I take it, but I don't necessarily have to pay it back. We can ask for a marriage as well, but I don't think there's anything necessarily that important. Yeah, I'll just take it. So the Conleys have granted control of the Jordan colonies to us. So he is now no longer responsible for avenging the crimes against us. That was quick. They just got married. She's already pregnant. Got a visitor. Diplomat, probably. Well, that was a very odd round of turn there. We have massively expanded, so I'm still under my vassal limit, and I don't even have, like, I actually have a position. Like, there's an action I can do to increase my vassal limit, too, which, what is it? Monitor vassals. I can get +1 to +3 vassal limit. I don't even have anybody doing this, because I haven't needed to. So I can still increase it if I need to. So if we get one more, I might do that. But as it is, we're still under vassal limit. It's just closer now. 94 Aquarii. 94 Aquarii is weak. What's going on with your fleet? He just had like his fleet bombed out. Yeah, that's right. He lost like 20 ships. Taxes have gone up. So now the Lins are probably going to be feeling the squeeze. How are things down here anyway? Unrest is not great anywhere. Definitely Ophiuchi and Rigel are bad. Quarai's got only 4. The capital's only got 4 installations on it. Huh. Beta Virginus, which we now have, only has the 1, so that's very close to being a dead colony right there. I wonder, somebody's got claims on this, I think. Where is that? Claimants. Galloway Alliance have a weak claim, but you don't have connection. Davis Coalition, Swanson Clan. So nothing too major. So potentially I could give this and Wazin to the Galloways if I needed to kind of reduce claims. Take some bits and pieces away from the Jordans, potentially. We might want to look at moving around where we're locking stuff down. They had an explosion there. Some marriage between some Blackwells. Descent on Mirzam. That's pretty bad. 66. I may have to change and do some locking down. Speaking of which, how about up here? Unrest is crazy high. Derelict colony. So now we've got 3 we could potentially rebuild. Yeah, all these new places that we've added just have incredibly bad unrest. What happened here? Covered, right. I think we probably want to shift around some of our quell and rest operations to some of these worse positions, but we've just massively expanded. We're now just turning into a blob across everything. If we can hold on to stuff. The Jordans are kind of, I don't know, fickle, wanting to kind of switch sides, jumping back and forth. So I don't know that even though they gave it to us, like they might shift and go back at some point, or go to the Lins. Like either one would not surprise me. With the position we're in now, I might even be able to convince you. No, he's absolutely not interested in joining up, even though we are much bigger. Probably we just don't have the military capacity near him, so he doesn't view it as a threat or issue at the moment. I do not need to keep improving relations with you. So we'll stop doing that. I do want to work on the Clarks, because we did take some territory from them. I'm sure they're not super happy. It's still not awful, but we can definitely improve relations a bit. Timothy's not great, but go ahead and travel, get that improving a bit. As far as the quell and rests go, we've got some pretty bad hotspots we should probably move to jumping onto. So Yilden we could stop. Wazen we could probably stop too. Like Yilden and Wazen we could end. Kind of need more people. We're getting close. How many kids do we have? Yeah, quite a few. Well, I do have... You could definitely work on... Like, you're good enough military to do that. Yilden should be fine. Wazen's not great, so maybe we'll just leave that. So what's our worst spots? This is bad, but you've also got a rattling outbreak, so I don't know that I want to go there. 76 and 75 out here. I think we work on that. Send my son there. Rigel is also bad. Yeah, Clayland, go ahead and go for it. Travel. Kumi will go back to training one of the two of us, either me or my heir. I'm currently only being trained in technology. Maybe I should focus more on my heir at this point. I still have probably a good decade or so before she's going to die. You are only being trained in diplomacy at the moment. So let's go ahead and go back to training you. Let's do administration. I feel like you're woefully inadequate at administration. So now picking up one administration a turn, and one diplomacy a turn, in addition to getting some bonus to military because of the enthusiastic about council role, although he is sickly. So potentially he could drop dead. If he does, I've got a good backup son, honestly. So that's fine too. So who does that leave? Eloise. More of an administrator. If we want to build something, that's definitely not a bad option. So, I don't want to build anything where there are Ratalung outbreaks. I don't think we're ready to rebuild a colony. Is there anything particularly interesting that we can build? God, your unrest is bad up here too. We don't really need the spy operation going on up here either anymore. Let's just shut that down. The one on Hees for the Blackwells. We can do some military stuff, although she's much more of a spy. 66. Yeah, not as good as Verley, but she's getting there. So we want to look at buying stuff, like building something, and then what do we do with you? Build stuff. You could train, could do a quell and rest. Maybe we do a quell and rest temporarily with her, because there's some really bad spots. Like it'll help a little bit, but it's not going to turn it around super quick. 88 on the capital. He keeps disinheriting people, which is causing problems. I think that's part of it. Let's go to Beta Tarai, actually, and we'll do a quell and rest there. She's not great at it, but she can do something. Go ahead and travel. So that will put Beta Tarai at a -4. Okay, so now we just need to figure out what I want to build and where. We're already working on something there. I would like to build the Shubba, Beta Virginis. Those would be good options. But with the Rattling outbreak, I don't want to do that at the moment. Is there anything like particularly good up here? Chemical warehouse is decent. Bit more than I want to spend. Everything's done in Beta Tarai. Just the refueling station, nothing too major. He's is all built. Okay. Just not a lot of stuff there, it seems like. Turris, kind of still towards the center. Yeah, everything's kind of pricey is the problem. Like, there's some decent stuff, but it's a bit more than I honestly want to spend on doing improvements at the moment. I think I can do multiple at the same time. Maybe not. Yeah, it looks like we can. So if we wanted to do a couple over here, we could. It's fairly cheap, too. So yeah, let's do that. So we're doing two things at the same time, the repair platform and the medical station. That gets everybody done. Okay. And I don't have really actions left to do anything. So I think we'll go ahead and call it there. So yeah, every single time we get to an intern, because we're fairly liked and we're getting large, things like that will start happening where people will just sort of like, hey, you want this? You want that? That's something I've seen in the campaigns I've played before. Potentially, you might want to join now. Nope, absolutely not. She is not interested. The Lindsays are very independent. But yeah, we've kind of picked up a lot of these smaller independents, and now with the Jordans, so like if we can get the Linds and the Lindsays, we'll be in a fantastic position to just kind of hold on. The Clarks possibly even next, but I think they're too strong over here. I don't think they would be likely to join since they've got multiple subsidiaries. Yeah, it's definitely interesting, kind of how things go in this game. But yeah, if I can get, I don't remember how much. I think we have to have, it's 2/3 or 3/4 of the galaxy to win through like a domination victory, which is how I've always won. I'm curious to see, like we're getting a lot of technology, so we're getting expedition points very quickly. We probably have to get one or two more to kind of trigger events to connect to the abandoned colony here on Arcab, which I can't do anything about. We could just scrap it. But I feel like that's sort of pointless, so we're holding on to that in case there's something that we can do. I don't think I need to be the one holding it directly for it to matter, as long as it's inside our league, but possibly I do to actually do stuff. Like, I can build stuff anywhere else. I don't know why I couldn't build stuff there if we needed to build things. So as long as Arcab stays inside our league, we should be okay. But yeah, this has been more Star Dynasties. I've been Disturbing Puppet. Thanks for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you again next time. Until then, have a good one.